So, my friends, we were discussing about the conventional methods to purify the mind. Let me give you an example. On Tuesday at 11 p.m., I would just lie down on the bed to sleep, and suddenly some thoughts started taking its root in the mind. And after that, there are a bunch of the thoughts revealed about the conventional methods. So that is what happens when there is a purity, the mind is pure. The thought reveals and it opens up to the knowledge. So lane number one, do you remember? Of the mind said, okay, I will write it tomorrow in the morning. Lane number two said, no. I got up, opened the computer, I wrote it down. So your mind is so much pure that when it comes to the knowledge, it simply wants to be settled completely. So what was these thoughts I'm going to share with you? It pertains to the conventional method, totally in a different perspective, a different way. Does a wave in an ocean thinks how to find an ocean? I'm asking a question. Does a wave in an ocean thinks how to find an ocean? If yes, then you follow the conventional methods naturally. The entire existence is like an ocean, and I am a wave. Think. Just create a picture, create an imagination, a metaphor, and see that does a wave in an ocean thinks how to find an ocean? If you say yes, you are following the conventional method. If no means what? I am a wave and ocean both. From the standpoint of a wave or an individual, you and me, I am a wave. And from the standpoint of an ocean, I am water. I am intimately, closely connected to the existence or the universe of people, of material things. You have to simply think and feel that you are connected. Then what happens? The life becomes a play and a fun. Problems becomes an opportunity. Are you getting it? What is the relationship of the wave and an ocean? Wave and the water. From one point of view, the wave is water. From other point of view, I am a wave. I cannot find the water. So when I feel that I cannot find the water, then I live in ignorance. It's a matter of wrong notion. It's a matter of building my ego. And it's a matter of separating myself with the selfishness from the existence. And that begins the journey of impurity of the mind. That is the first thing. We have to think in other way. We have to reflect on and find out what knowledge is hidden. Are we taking about conventional methods to purify the mind? It includes thought, speech, and action. I always said that I should feel connected. It is not that you wake up in the morning and knock the door of a neighbor. No, I'm going to connect with you, and you start hugging. You create a problem. That is not this teaching is. Teaching that do I feel inside I'm connected. So it is going to change my perspective towards the life. You see, that is more important. So when I feel that I'm connected to my neighbor, when the neighbor comes outside and we meet them, it's a great purifier. So it includes thought, speech, and action. Thoughts are in the mind. Mind defines the attitude, feeling, and the behavior before we speak and act. And action is nothing but the karma. And the mental state is yoga. Mental state is yoga. So all the conventional methods basically redefines what is karma yoga. We act every moment in our life. Every action should become karma yoga. And what is karma? Karma means to act, to think, and to speak. First part. And what is yoga? Yoga means a mental state of mindfulness. Then what happens? You live in mindfulness all the time. That is the meaning of living from a moment to moment. That is the meaning of living from a moment to moment. But if I do not relate myself to the existence, majority of the people find that, okay, mindfulness, let me leave the word. Honey, I'm not talking to you because I'm going into meditation. So that idea and that misunderstanding will backfire. Not only you make fun of yourself, but you also make fun of others. So again, think and find out why we are doing this. Be very clear, 100% clear. Your intellect should be 100% clear with the knowledge, not with the ignorance. Because mind by default constantly thinks with reference to the emotional baggage, preferences of likes and dislikes. It always thinks and speaks and wants to act with an attachment and detachment. That will dissolve. Your mind is always free. You need not to, your mind is not wandering now. So by clarity, by understanding, now your mind is not wandering. But if you start thinking my mind is wandering, how to control it? Normally we ask the question, how to control the mind? Can you really control the mind? The mind cannot be controlled because at the deeper inside, I have a preferences of likes and dislikes. I have a preferences of attachment and detachment. I have a preferences of anxiety or reaction towards people, towards the things outside. So that mind is now gone. And now the mind thinks with that clarity and understanding that this wave is nothing but the water. As an individual, I am an integral part of the existence. That is the meaning of to connect, to contribute, and to be grateful. Just think and contemplate. Before we have the next session, you think of this contemplation, how I can be, how can I understand this is a wave and the entire existence. Wave to the water, individual to the existence. The more you separate, the more you build your ego. the more you connect, less the ego. Ego means a barrier, separative consciousness. So if we have understood the karma yoga, we have understood the conventional methods, the basics of the conventional methods, then now merge the two. Karma yoga is nothing but the mind meditation. Every thought, every speech, every action you do in your personal life, you do in your professional life, you do in your social life, is not only an act of mindfulness, but also a state of mindfulness. What is the result? No fear. Fear is not there. Anxiety is not there. Reaction is not there. Anger is there inside, but you instantly recognize and it is diluted. We are not creating another world outside. We are changing our perception towards the life with the knowledge, with the clarity, with an understanding, so that the likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, and emotional dependence do not cause any problem to me and do not cause any problem to others around me. What I will do if for example, if my dad is crazy, let them remain crazy. It is their responsibility. No, example, I'm saying, it is their responsibility. They don't want to change, so it's okay. That we do not think. Our focus is how to change the world before I should change. And that is opposite of meditation, that is opposite of awakening. That will never help us to move there. That is why I picked up the conventional methods. So now you have understood the basics, the goal, the foundation of following these conventional methods to purify the mind. Whether it is yasna, connecting with the world, outside the material world, with the people in a different way, and then we took up the concept of charity. So the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom remain focused how I should evolve myself and raise my level of consciousness, remove the ignorance, the misconceptions, so that I can be in a state of meditation or mindfulness 24 by 7. Why? So that I can manifest that peace and happiness, love, and wisdom all the time. When I wake up in the morning, yes, I'm in that state. In the afternoon, I'm in that state. In the evening, I'm into this state. And before going to sleep. How long is the journey? How many times, I'm going to repeat the same, and it should prick your mind. You should think of it. How many times I have said that you are real self? Vaibhav, how are you? Instantly, the attention goes to the Vaibhav. You don't pay any attention. So we believe that you are Vaibhav. When I say you are real self, did your mind ever think that I'm real self? Tell me. No, answer yourself. Do you ever think that I'm the real self? I'm not David, I'm not Jerry, I'm not Stephen, I'm the real self. This is the journey. I answered you, how long is the journey? This much is the journey. You declare yourself that you are the real self. And what is real self? Real self is permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Do you see that? Our dad gave us the name, and our mind, our ears, our eyes, all the five sense organs, including the mind, become so much attentive the moment my name is called. Conventional methods is always calling us, speaking to us that we are the real self. We don't realize it. Did you get it? At every moment it is calling us. So these conventional methods makes me more sensitive, not in a negative sense. Normally we use it is a sensitization process. How? You start living in an extraordinary awareness so that the mind with its old routine, old thoughts, selfishness do not work. Did you get it? Say yes, even if you don't get it, so that you can listen to it. Purity of the mind, that is why in Eastern wisdom is said it is mandatory to awaken, bring an end to the suffering, and success in the journey. I've already discussed all our achievements, wealth, possession, recognition are based on the purity of the mind. I'm not defining the success in the material terms. You have $1 billion and you are suffering from some physical disorder. You are deeply attached with it. So I'm not talking of that success. All success and achievement comes from the same existence, including the sun, the solar system, my relations, my friends. Can I minimize the resistance? And then I dissolve all the resistance. If they have towards me, let them. But I don't have it. That represents the purity of the mind. So now see, I started talking of the yasna in a couple of the sessions. Then I started talking of the charity. That is a outer way. Not to the non-seekers, we guide them that no, you do it. We don't teach them karma yoga and we don't relate it to the existence. But the fundamental principle is that how I should relate myself, be one with the existence, first in my mind, so my mental state changes, my perception changes. I have an obsession towards you, so that obsession changes. My mind naturally wants to react, so-called naturally and habitually, impulsively wants to react. That reaction stops by following these conventional methods. Or you can say there is a lifestyle modifications. Once you start thinking in that way, the lifestyle modifications takes place. Your response to your honey, your response to your kids, your response to your parents, your response to your friends, to the society, to the nation, and expand that nation to the earth planet and ultimately to the material world changes. So that is the essence of connecting, contributing, and being grateful to the existence. This week, just think of it. We have, I told you last time that charity. So don't take the charity in a very surface level. So think of these aspects. So in the ancient days, these masters have explained different ways of the charity. You give the charity of even the animals. That also happens in this part of the world. You give the land, you give the daughter that I talked about it. That is also a kind of the charity. So, but the best charity is giving the knowledge. Giving the knowledge. You, by the knowledge, you help the people to stand on their feet, whether it's a professional life or any life. And I think I touched upon that. We do a candle march, and when someone died, in our country we have many shootings, and every time the next day we lit the candle. So that is also considered as a kind of charity. If I don't have, how can I give the money to anyone? So that problem is resolved by these masters, whether in the form of a cash or home or possessions or knowledge or kindness or humility or gratitude. They all come under the principle of the charity. One aspect is coming. My son loves one person in India, and I had a doubt that he is not going to. Uh, I don't want to use the word of cheating. So that was proved to me in last week. Now question comes, should I tell my son that he cheated you and I should make him stressed? Tell me. Or I should leave it. Second option is that I should make him little more aware and alert, not to remain attached, not to get carried away. So I decided not to talk to him. I just talked to him yesterday, but just in an indirect reference, I just made him aware. That's all. So you take such a subtle aspects into account in your life, in your relationship. That is the meaning of living from a moment to moment. Otherwise, we build your ego. Now that guy is crazy, don't go there. No, we have to be very mindful. Simply saying that I live in mindfulness will not work. Because you live into that extraordinary awareness. After all, you have to express your thought, you have to express the speech, you have to act. Even in relationship, if you have two or more than two kids, you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware. And then see how this mind lays into that state of purity. And in that state of the purity, the knowledge reveals in your mind. For me, every revelation is the new step in my life. And if there is a revelation every day, every moment, so either there is a revelation of attachment and detachment, reaction and emotional baggage, or there is a revelation of knowledge that reshapes your life. That is the journey of the Eastern Western. That is the journey of this awakening. Let us start our journey. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed and I told you, be centered completely, centered in the comfort. You remember, perhaps, I've been repeating this so that your mind also settles in these words. You're going to talk to someone. Oh, let me settle in comfort first. That is what is happening in your mind before I talk to anyone. Whether you are going to talk for a business proposal or for anything, that does not make any change, the difference. Oh, it is possible, yes. So now here, what we are doing, we are checking the body. We are not struggling. The position of the body is settled. The same thing, the position of the body should also be settled in the comfort when you are talking to someone. You are relaxed, carefree, comfortable. Whether you're going for a business proposal or relationship or anything, action is there. So conventional methods redefines how you think, how you speak, and how you act in your life. Being comfortable. And I think you are very clear about it. Look at the neck joint. Be there, feel, experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Let the mind go deeper. Walk into the lane number 2. Oh, lane number 2 means I'm listening and learning and knowledge is there. What about the lane number 1? The thoughts are coming, let them come and go. So being comfortable and being carefree, you have merged these 2 steps. Oh, that is easy. I have not to participate in any conversation in happening in the lane number 1. I am with the lane number 2. How simple it is. And you see that how we moved? Look at the shoulder joints, be there. So we started with physical matter, the body. And then it becomes subtle. Our experience is sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So now we are deeper within. So there we encounter the thoughts from the lane number 1. Because you move the mind inside, then only you can separate the lane number 1 and 2. When the physical body is in the state of comfort and relaxation, you have already separated so that you can be aware of the influx of the thoughts in the lane number 1. And then you can easily separate. But if you think the body is totally in the state of discomfort and you want to separate, it will not happen. So the body part is conventional method. You can directly jump into the deeper state. There is no issue if you can. Look at the entire body. Look means aware. Aware means know it. Know means experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness that is happening in the mind, where it is happening in the lane number 2, lane number 3. But then the mind jumps to the lane number 1. You have a knowledge in between. So you remain comfort, you remain carefree. Where is the problem? Problem in the journey comes when we do not understand. That is why we are having these sessions. We discuss about the knowledge. We should have a clarity of understanding. That is lane number 2 will help us to move deeper. Being carefree. I believe you all remember the very pet phrases that I make. And most common phrase, thoughts come and go, let them come and go. But I must know from which lane the thoughts are coming and going, and I should say goodbye. I do not participate. It does not mean that what you are listening, these are also the thoughts, you are not participating in that thought. So majority of the non-seekers do that. Oh, you told me not to participate. So then, so when I say you are carefree, this is also a thought, and but it contains a knowledge. And the lane number one also have a thought which contains an element of attachment, emotional baggage, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. There you are not participating. You are observing. You are understanding. That makes you carefree. I believe things are becoming clearer and clearer. You all should become internal, a center of the conscious evolution. That is what the existence wants us. That is the success in the journey of meditation. We will replace, I told you, the one of the most important uh, benefit of the mantra, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Now you are guiding, we are guiding our crazy mind that stuck in our relationship, in the world outside, with attachment and detachment, with the reaction, with egoistic demands, what we are teaching. Happiness is the existence. Why you are going anywhere else? I am giving some bites of the thoughts to you. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Why I'm asking the mind? We are asking the mind to know the truth, to know the absolute reality, which you are not aware because of your egoistic demand, reaction, attachment, duality, conflict. All are manifestation of ignorance. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let there be completeness in all. As a wave separating myself from an ocean or a water, I will remain incomplete. There is no way to feel the sense of completeness. I'm bringing in your attention to what we discussed today. But when I feel I am the water, not a wave, see what happens? A sense of wholeness comes. That thought, that feeling, replacing the ideas of a limitedness of a wave. Limitedness of a wave is ego. Ego is not a bad thing. We have to understand it clearly. Sarvesham Mangalam bhavatu sarvesham, Mangalam bhavatu sarvesham, Mangalam bhavatu. Mangalam or spaciousness. How I can perceive each and every moment is a moment of auspiciousness offered to me by an existence. So I explore. Somebody is in your relation, somebody is reactive. Keep quiet. Oh, this is a auspicious moment. It is teaching me endurance. Internally, you're smiling, you're listening. Then you have enough time to contemplate and reflect and think and respond. What it indicates, goal is purity of the mind. I'm not talking of any ethics and morality. Practical. And we have purified the mind by the mantra. We will continue to purify the mind. So look inside the forehead, in the space. The mind now is now not naturally focused. You start dropping Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. You are aware of the steadiness in the body. Check that. You are fairly relaxed and calm. And now the time has come to start breathing from the rib cage, expansion and contraction of the ribs. Rhythmic breath, continuous Om Shanti, and steadiness in the body. See what happens. Why I'm pointing out the steadiness of the body, Om Shanti, and the breathing? By default, you are already separating the physical body, the energy body, and the mind. Why you are separating? To know the real self. That is the key. Continue. Any objections of the mind comes, that is the impurity. So you persist, you maintain, you endure that. That comes from the lane number one. So your knowledge will help you. No, I have to maintain that. I have to sustain this practice. So then 3 minutes is not a big deal. And stop it. How many times your mind objected to the breathing? Lane number one. How many times you overcome that objection? Lane number two. And now the experience, you are in a different state of awareness. I believe I'm clear. And now, Om Shanti continues. Start breathing from the belly. It's a little longer breath, an expansion and contraction of the belly. That is the instruction. But what is the subtle understanding that you already know? Objection, lane number one of the mind. You have been attending the previous sessions, so you are aware of the lane number 1, 2, 3. The knowledge comes in. It says, no, I have to maintain it. So there is no opposition, there is no reaction, and you continue. Means the knowledge has taken over the lane number 1. I believe you all are getting into what I'm conveying, my friends. It's a belly breathing. 3 minutes is nothing. Yes, with the disclaimer also. You may have a variety of experiences of absorption, of a sense of bodilessness. That is okay, but you are aware, you are conscious, you do not fall into any kind of hallucination or imagination. The moment it happens, you can stop for a few seconds and then restart. No rule, no chance of any kind of hallucinations. Why? You are undertaking a journey consciously. You don't allow the mind to fall into any kind of imaginations. And stop it. The mind gives you the feedback how many times the lane one objected to the step that you have done, and how many times you overcome. How many times the lane number 1 cheated you. It says, okay, you're asking me to breathe into the belly. I'm still breathing, but my breath rate is very slow. You overcome all the objections of the mind. They are the movement of ignorance in our day-to-day life. Because of that ignorance, conventional methods have been discovered. And now we have to go for the third breathing, both from the belly and the rib cage. You keep on Om Shanti at a point inside the forehead and start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath. There are sudden changes in your experience, but you deal with them consciously. that prevents any kind of hallucinations. Basically, chanting the mantra mentally, keeping the body steady and breathing. That kind of a step coming from the tantra. So you already know I merge the different steps from the different traditions so that we can have a speedy progress. Keep on doing it. It's a long, it's a deep, it's also the hissing sound. You are aware of the expansion of the belly and the rib cage. You are also aware of the contraction of the belly and the rib cage. Now stop this breathing analysis through contemplation. How many times lane one objected and how many times you overcome that objection. And what is your experience now? Now start breathing deep, silent, and slow, the nyasa aspect. The breath is the car. As you inhale, the mind starts moving from the crown to the head, singing Om. Inhalation comes to an end as the mind reaches to the tailbone, Shanti too. As you exhale, the mind rises from the tailbone, singing Om Shanti, reaches to the crown of the head. We already know. That's why we have done this nyasa so many times. With the metaphor of the car, the driver, and you are sitting in that car, dropping just saying Om Shanti with the knowledge. Now leave it. We will continue with the triangle. I'm going to change later. Looking the triangle in the cave of the heart, moving the mind with Om Shanti on each side of the triangle, pointing upward. It is an equilateral triangle. That brings, keep our attention intact. And when you move the mind with the mantra a couple of times, to check. Lane number one is not objecting to your movement of the mind. And if it happens, then that is the right time. At the center of the triangle, Om, singing, pushing the mind deep inside, seemingly stops, you drop Shanti, and you are in the state of emptiness and silence. Or I can say the self absorption. What Om Shanti conveys, you might have seen the picture of my master pointing a finger upward. That is Om Shanti. Lane number one, objects, go to the triangle, or just remember what my master is pointing. I'm here with you. If the mind thinks, how long? Objection. Lane number one. when you recognize, oh, it is an objection, then the mind continues. It says, okay, I will continue. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, know your experiences, and bring the hands down. Did you see the picture of my master? Do you know your real self? How are you, Stephen?
I am really good. That was a very good experience for me. I felt, second I closed my eyes, I felt this high level of awareness. And from there, the entire meditation became very slow and methodical. There was no rush. There was just following your words. The sense of just being comfortable before we started was really different today. And the thing that really got me was I had a single thought right before you started chanting the Sarve Sham mantra, and that was that the real self isn't a part of me, but it's the whole of me.
Yeah.
And that just stayed with me, and the rest of the meditation was with no barriers, no resistance, and here we are.
Beautiful. You said that there is no rush. Obviously, the lane number one is not objecting to anything what we are doing. And that's a beautiful, no rush and beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. I love the analogy to water. It just makes things so simple and clear. So every time you do that, I'm really struck by that. Also, thank you for sharing your personal experience with your son. That's I appreciate it very much. So for me, the meditation was amazing because going into it, I decided to just focus on every word you were saying. And it was like these guardrails went up and it kept me in lane 2. And then slowly the guardrail between lane 2 and 3 dropped away. And I just spent my time between lane 2 and 3 just enjoying the meditation.
Beautiful. Means that lane number 1 as if do not exist. And if it does not exist, we live into that awareness. We live into that awareness. And there are many incidents, This incident happened with the son recently. So I said, no, I'm not going to talk. That's the main cause. Otherwise, I will create another conflict in the mind of my son. Why should I do it? I never think about. We normally do not think about it. We think, that guy is crazy. Let me prove it. So you are not a judge to prove it. Leave it. How are you, Jerry?
Sure, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I guess living with the clarity of and the knowledge that we are consciousness, then everything that is an opportunity. And it's an opportunity not to get angry or sad or upset or frustrated. It's an opportunity to shine with that consciousness that we are.
Yes.
And that whatever the transaction is, they're the same consciousness. So it gives us that grace and humility.
Yes, what David was saying, the analogy of the wave in the water. I'm doing a transaction from where I exist. Did you get it? I am doing all the transactions because of which I exist. So the question of any objection and a conflict should not happen in my mind. So when we have that, we have already succeeded the conventional method. It's all because it's all about applying it. Beautiful. Thank you, Jerry. And now we will go to Brandy.
Good morning. Thank you. My meditation was good. It was relaxing and peaceful.
Relaxing and peaceful. Beautiful. Yes, you have to remain relaxed and peaceful all the time. How are you? I will go to Barbara. We don't listen to we see the movement of the lips. It's okay, but we can see your face, you're smiling, so experience must have been good. How are you, Vaibhav? But in the middle, if you can speak, we can hear you, we can call you, yes.
Thank you, sir. So it was peaceful. I was absorbed and I was aware also. So in the awareness, it's always like it can convert something which is in lane 1. It brings me to lane 2. Because of that awareness, I'll always come back to the lane 2. So it was very calm and peaceful.
Beautiful. I'm happy you all have accepted your mind. Everyone's mind has accepted this concept of lane number 1 and 2. And that is going to evolve. You all, how are you, Anastasia?
Thank you. I am fine. It was a very deep and quick meditation today. I haven't noticed how time was going, and very peaceful and calm. Thank you.
Beautiful. Anastasia, do you become angry? Your way of soft and gentleness sometimes makes me surprised. You become angry?
Yeah, because of my cats sometimes.
Okay, how are you, Sangeeta? The same thing with the Sangeeta.
सर जैसे आज लेन नंबर 1 में कुछ थॉट्स आ रहे थे बट साथ ही साथ वो अवेयरनेस आ जाती है और अपने आप लेन नंबर 2 में शिफ्ट हो
Yeah. So she is saying that lane number 1 has a lot of the thoughts, but at the simultaneously we already have a lane number 2. I recognize that these thoughts are going to fail my meditation. So first is the recognition. Second are these the concepts. You start living with those concepts. Is the knowledge living in the lane number 2 that will change their entire perspective. Don't forget my master's pointer. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet again.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Yes, namaste is also a conventional method. We will talk about it. My mind is crazy today. Oh, sorry, Ashok, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you so much. And I joined late, but it was good. And I joined just middle of the meditation. But thoughts are coming. But I was recognizing the thought and applying the knowledge. So it
Good,
was settled. So that's good.
good. Very
Namaste.
good. I'm sorry I could not keep up Ashok. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.